Hello and welcome. I have Vivek with me. Congratulations, Vivek. You qualified your NET exam in HR and Labor Welfare in 2018 December. How are you feeling about this success?
Yeah, it's been good. Earlier, I never imagined that I'll qualify it at that time. I just went there and wrote it. But yeah, when results came, it was a good surprise. Feeling good. Like I have heard a lot of things about NET when I started preparation, that it's so difficult in exam and it will take 2 years, 3 years, and all those sort of things. But yeah, it was a good feeling when I qualified it.
I'm glad you qualified in your first attempt, and though it does take a lot of time for some people, but I think if you do it right in the first attempt, it's the easiest way to go about it.
Yeah, you can
So,
just.
tell us more about yourself. Which city are you from, and where did you pursue your education?
Yeah, so I'm from Jharkhand. There is a small district in Jharkhand named Simdega. I studied till class 10 there. After that, I moved to Ranchi, the capital city of Jharkhand. There I did my class 11th and 12th. Post that, I joined Central University of Jharkhand and completed my bachelor's and master's integrated course in nanotechnology. And after that, just after completion of that, I moved to Mumbai. I joined Tata Institute of Social Sciences in Mumbai for human resources management, studying masters there. And I graduated last year only. Last year, in 2019, I graduated from TISS. Yeah.
So you qualified NET in 2018 and you completed your master's in 2019. So that was even before you were awarded your degree.
Yeah, correct.
So you were completely indulged and in touch with the subject at that time.
Yeah, at that time it was in campus. I was studying only HR and subject was also about that. So you can say so. Although I'd not say academically so much indulged, but as you work on those things, then certain things come to you naturally while you're pursuing that. Yeah.
All right. So diving deep into your preparation strategy, how many months did you prepare for, and which was the most challenging part of the syllabus?
So it was, I think, I would say not many months. It would be maybe 4 to 6 weeks around, if I see it seriously. Otherwise, was just watching some videos on YouTube here and there. But if I see it's a straight sort of very serious preparation, I think it was not that much. It might be maybe 2 weeks or so. Because that time I was in the final semester, my another internship was going on, and placements were also very close by, so didn't get much time to go into the subject deeper, because the questions that is asked there are not something which are asked in other things. Like, let's say if I cannot prepare for my placements using those questions, and vice versa also is true. So at that time was not that much, but yeah, I can say that 4 to 6 weeks, if you are into the subject, might be good enough to at least see it. I'm not saying that everyone will be able to do it, but if you try, you can do it. Otherwise, at max maybe I don't think more than 3 months will be required in any case. Coming to the second part of the question, which is about the difficult aspect or difficult part of the paper, would be, I would consider something maybe labor relations, with respect to the level of what do you say, memorization that it takes. That's one difficulty, is that memorization is only the point there. Otherwise, I would not say that subject as itself is very difficult there. And maybe another thing which again is too much memory based, and let's say I would say luck factor based, is some theories and some books they will ask from some author or some expert in the last 100 years or so. So if you remember it, it's fine. If you don't remember it, it's your bad luck. So those are something that it really doesn't test your, let's say, skills or your understanding of the subject, because it's a book name. If they're asking, it's just that either you know it or don't know it. You cannot make a guess there. Those are the challenging parts, I would say. Questions which are based on your comprehension of the subject, which are based on the skills that you have gained of the subject, are not that difficult. They're quite easy, I would say. Yeah.
And so after listing the challenges, if you had to give advice to the students who are sitting for this exam, what would be 3 pieces of advice that you would give to someone?
3 pieces, is it? Okay. I don't know if it's 3 Ps. I'll just give certain advices maybe. So I would only say just consider it as an exam. Don't consider it as a subject that you have to read everything and you have to know everything. Just make differentiation between two things. One is knowledge, another is cracking exam. I make very clear differentiation. If you want to learn about something, that's a knowledge. That's out of your choice, out of your interest. There is no game there. Okay, fine. But I will learn this to crack this exam. That's a very different. Or I don't follow that kind of strategy. If it's an exam, consider it as an exam. Just think of how to crack it. And if you want to learn about something or know about something, just go deeper into it. Don't relate it with exam. If you're doing so, possibly the returns might not be very high, because possibly you like something which is just 5% of the syllabus. You might like to go too much deep into it, but it will not fetch you any returns. Like, let's say it will not fetch you proportionate returns, I would say. So if I just go by this logic that consider it as an exam, then just focus on which are the areas you can easily score, which are the areas where you can skip something, which are the areas where you don't need to put much focus. If you have less amount of, if you have 1 year and 2 years, then so you can study everything and anything. That's a different game. But just about cracking the exam, I would suggest please focus on paper 1. I don't know why people don't focus on paper 1. They end up scoring less. Ultimately, it's total score which is counted, right? Minimum score is definitely there in each subject, but total score is also counted when you are calculating who has qualified, who has not qualified. Because paper 1 is relatively easy to prepare. I would say I might not be the right person for some parts of the paper 1, because I had prepared for CAT and I got selected for IIM. So maybe those kind of verbal ability and let's say comprehension and quantitative abilities were very natural to me. But let's say apart from those 4 parts, there are 6 different sections like research aptitude and teaching aptitude and people and environment stuffs like that. On all those things, you just need to prepare very, I would say, very pointedly. I would say that just read only things which are required. Don't do a PhD on those subjects. It's not required. You just need to understand and answer the questions. Prepare all the old questions. It will be good enough. So if you are able to somehow score around 80 marks in paper 1, you are already like done with some part of it. Then second aspect for the subject, which let's say human resources or labor relations, whatever that is. For that, I will suggest consider like few areas, like for example, behavioral, organizational behavior. So there is a lot of scope in getting good marks there. Labor relations, usually just try to see that if you are doing labor relations, try to start something a little early. I would say don't cram them at one go, because you will not be able to. There are so many laws and all things. So if you're, let's say, studying for 3 months, just try to read labor laws every day up for some time, maybe small time. You don't need to learn it like 3 hours a day. Just learn labor laws every day, some parts. In 3 months, it will be taken care of. Like entire syllabus will be covered very easily, and you'll also remember everything. But if you are putting too much stress on, let's say, 2 weeks or 3 weeks of time for labor relations, and you think you will complete the rest of the things before, possibly that might not work for many people, because ultimately it's a human memory. You might be forgetting the things which you are learning. So try to do that. It will be actually helpful. Apart from that, subjects areas like this one, international labor organizations, every year they ask 2-3 questions which are very easy, and you can prepare for ILO in just 1 day. 1 day is good enough to secure 3 guaranteed questions which are very straightforward in nature. So that is one area. Then second area could be, I would say, this one, international human resources, or wage theory and all. Those are most neglected parts, as I see, because mostly they are not even taught in most of the human resources courses into that direction. The way in which questions are, those are usually people don't take it much seriously. Mostly they focus on labor laws and organizational behavior and certain parts of HR. So if they can prepare on these smaller areas which are very short in nature, you can prepare them in very short amount of time. You can score really good marks there. Try to score more than 200 out of 300. That would be good. Maybe if you're just scoring 80 marks in the paper 1, and in second paper, even if you're able to score somewhere around 120, 130, good too. That's that kind of strategy you can follow.
I think you gave some very nice tips there. First of all was that take it as an exam and not to gain knowledge. It's easier said than done. I've given NET, and it's very hard to stop yourself from going deep into things you like. And second was revision is the key. So you have to keep revising and memorizing. And I think
Oh.
the last thing also is very helpful, that you need to divide your time and know how much you can do in what amount of time.
Yeah. See, there is another point here that it will always some subjects will always be very tempting for you to study. Like, once you are studying something that you want to know more about, let's say if you're reading industrial relations, you want to know more about what happened in the past, what kind of movement did Tata Sahib do in Mumbai, or let's say what happened in Kolkata. You would like to know sometimes if you're interested. Maybe if you're interested in more around, let's say wage theories and all, you'd like to know more about what is the history and all. But temptation is something that you should always be aware that don't tempt yourself while you're thinking of cracking exam. Your objectivity should be very clear as to why you are cracking this exam. If you are thinking of just becoming a scholar, then it's fine. Just go and read everything. Then you can wait for 2 years, start first year, and come crack it in second year, and you'll learn also a lot of things. But if it's a short amount of time and just you're thinking of just cracking it at all costs, and it's a life and death scenario for you, then don't do this indulgence. Indulgence with knowledge is good. Indulgence with exam is just for cracking it. Don't indulge in the examination syllabus.
Work smart and work your way through the syllabus.
So I did not use that work smart thing because many people use it and actually don't mention as to what does it mean. So I've just explained what does that mean, that the smart working essentially means that don't read everything. You don't need to. Even in exams like, let's say UPSC, which cover a lot of knowledge aspects, even there people actually ask you to avoid doing a PhD over subjects. Just read the things which are required. So this is a completely objective exam. This is not even subjective. When it was subjective, then obviously knowledge was required. Right now it is not. So just focus on the things and crack it. That's it.
Those were some very, very helpful tips, Vivek. And thank you for sharing them. They'll be very useful for people who are going to sit for this exam. And thank you for taking out time and speaking with us. Thank you so much.
All the best.